Domino's.com to save money on mouth-watering pizza with Domino's Rewards. The Arkansas Scholarship Lottery. This is winning. Modelo. .uark.edu. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation of the Razorback Sports Network.
That's it. Sam Pittman's on the move. Sam Shade across the way is on the move as well, and this one is in the books. Arkansas is 1-0. The Razorbacks in the season opener defeat Alabama A&M 52-7.
This is Hog Reaction, brought to you by Bud Light, the world's favorite light beer. Also presented by Sawyer's, everything for outside the house. And by the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville. It doesn't get more Razorback than the Stadium Shop.
I hold it down. What do the to it?
Call or text the program at 877-377-6963.
Well, finally, we're on the... For an interminable network postgame show, we are here on Hog Reaction on ESPN Arkansas when the fans finally get to talk.
That's right.
That's what we're all about here. Colton Little, Derek Ruskin. After Arkansas's 52-7 win over Alabama A&M to start the 2025 season. You know how this works. You text or call the Lewis Automotive Group hotline at 877-377-6963. Maybe some jitters early on, but settled in, and it was a dominant performance, as you would expect, over a lesser opponent. And Arkansas got the job done today with a 52-7 victory over Alabama A&M to start the season in Fayetteville. Very business-like, professional, whatever you want to call it. They did not dilly-dally around for most of that game, Colton. They got up, and the offense lit the world on fire. The defense tightened up after a shaky start, and they ended up allowing only 7 points in the ballgame tonight.
Well, I think everybody thought after that first drive on offense, you go out there, you do exactly what you're expected to do, and then the defense came out on the field, and in quick succession, the pendulum of discourse swung in the opposite direction. Everybody thought that it was over, and I think that that's fair because the very first scripted drive by Alabama A&M that they had probably been planning for months coming into this game worked to perfection for the Bulldogs, and they had kind of pushed around on that really not so deep Arkansas defensive line. But then, like you said, kind of businesslike after that, very clean game offensively. Things got shored up, and eventually talent shined through. Your quarterback looked pretty decent today against obviously low-level competition. But one thing I did like to see from the offensive side of the ball, Derek, is you did definitely spread the ball around to lots of different receivers. 6 touchdown passes, or 7 to, I believe, 5 or 6 different pass catchers. So it was a pretty good day for the offense.
All right, so again, you can get in here and react to this. Does this change any of your opinions about the upcoming season now that you've actually laid your eyes upon it? Yeah, it's kept in secrecy and in mystery for the better part of a month. We don't know anything, but like I always say, they can't hide the games from us yet. So what do you think now that you've actually seen it for yourself? So you can get in here and react at 877-377-6963. So there you go. So there's 52-7, a final score. They win the home opener and open the season with a victory tonight over the Alabama A&M Bulldogs. Pittman now, by the way, if you are on buyout watch, and some of you probably are, in spite of the win, Pittman's 31-31 now. So if you're on buyout watch, he has now hit 500, and he can go over 500 if they can beat Arkansas State next Saturday afternoon and evening in Little Rock at War Memorial Stadium. So there you go. So there's the start. You are loading up the phones right now, getting the texts in here as well. A couple of texts that we'll get in here. Nice. Aaron says on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, nice to actually win a game Arkansas is supposed to win. Arkansas, it's nice to have more than one receiver that can catch a football. Yeah, Blake Harrison had a catch out there. C.J. Brown had a very nice game.
Very good game.
For Arkansas. Brown with 3 catches, 44 yards, or I'm sorry, 4 catches for 49 yards for C.J. Brown. Blake goes for 7 and 121, and a touchdown for Omega Blake in his Razorback debut. The running game was fine.
Suspect. I think it was fine too. I think I probably jumped the gun there on suspect, but wouldn't you like to see probably, closer to 250, 300 rushing yards, a lot more from your first offensive unit? I thought that there was some lackluster effort there in the running game.
Yeah, I still have a lot of questions about this offensive line as we move towards opponents that are better than the one that they faced tonight. And, you can't get a 100-yard rusher against these guys. That was, if you had to look at anything that you're kind of like, well, that's kind of a missed opportunity, perhaps. That might be one of them. Washington ends up with 79 yards on 9 carries. The team went for 194 as a group running the football. Brett Bielema used to say 200 and 200 is the goal, and they're pretty close to that at 194 with that. But if there was one thing to look at, I just thought there would be more physical dominance at the point of attack.
Yes.
And that is not something that we saw. When receivers are running routes on air, which they pretty much were all night long, Taylor Green is going to complete 77% of his passes. And he had a couple of a couple of instances there where he missed some wide open guys. He could have completed over 80% of his passes in the ball game. But that not being physical at the point of attack, where you're not running the book, I don't think it's unreasonable to expect to go for 250 against a team like this on the ground. And they came up a little bit shy of that. So that could be something that maybe you look at and you're like, well, that's something you have to do better if you're going to continue to improve week over week.
Well, and one thing is, Taylor Green accounts for 41 of those rushing yards, which is fine. It was on 9 attempts, but he took some absolutely unnecessary shots against Alabama A&M in the first week of the season. And I get it. When you're a competitor, when you're this uber freak athlete with lots of intangibles, you are able to, you stretch the ball across to make a key first down. I understand that maybe, but at the end of the day, go out of bounds.
Yep.
Look, KJ Jackson looked fine today. It's low-level competition, like we said. He's probably going to be able to get in there and hopefully be comfortable if they let him. But at the same time, Taylor has to understand that he is obviously a huge part of this offense, if not the biggest part. If he's not going to be able to go, it really limits what the whole entire team can do. I liked what I saw from the receivers today. I think that even though, like you said, they were basically running routes on air, there were times last season where, look, guys couldn't even separate against this type of competition. So I think that you have a better stable of pass catchers, but Taylor has to be able to trust those guys. And if he's just going to pull it down and run, protect yourself. Please, for the love of everything, protect yourself.
Well, then there was that one run on the along the A&M sideline where he gets like 20-some-odd yards, and then he easily could have just stepped out of bounds, but then he takes a shot. You just don't know what's going to happen on stuff like that. You're talking a shoulder, you just don't know. And you see guys at the next level all the time that'll get 20 or so, and this be like, all right, that's enough.
Yeah.
That's enough, and just get out of bounds and live to fight another day. Now, there's a lot more money invested in those guys than in Taylor Green and some of these college quarterbacks. But still, the point is the same. That the season, if you want to have a maximum output of your season, you got to have that guy on the field. So another thing to maybe coach him up on there a little bit is a little bit less. You don't need to take hits like that in a game like this, because there's going to be plenty of hits that you're not going to be able to avoid in the bigger games, with Ole Miss and Tennessee and Texas coming up later on in the year. And he's a guy, Colton. It's such a great point, because all summer long we heard about how unhealthy he was, gutting through it late in the year.
You can't.
And there's only so much you can take as a human being. You know what I mean?
You're right. And he's not exactly what you'd call like a 6'6" guy that's 250 pounds of pure raw muscle. I mean, he's built, he's well built, but at the same time, he's long, he's lanky. So you want him to be able to get out of bounds, learn to slide really well, just take care of yourself because Derek, there were times today where, like you said, the offensive line was still at times. I mean, why in the world was there pressure that was coming straight into Talon's face right from the middle? I get you do the delay blitz here and there. Maybe the running back misses his protection, leaks out instead, doesn't pick up the right guy. It's all learning things at this time, but still, you have to be able to take care of the football and you have to be able to take care of yourself. I don't want to see you take sacks unless you absolutely have to. And taking shots on the sideline is just not smart. But if you're able to stand in there in the pocket and do like you had a little bit more time today, because I thought in pass pro they set the edge really well. I don't think that Alabama A&M had anybody that was going to light the world on fire coming on from as an edge rusher. But they did have a spy on Talon Green basically from the jump of the game, and that guy didn't do a terrible job at times.
Yep.
He was able to get in there and drop Talon for a couple of losses. And look, the read option game thing that they do where they're in the pistol, it's slow developing and hard to read, and they got him on that a couple of times. So obviously right now, first game jitters, like you kind of said, getting some things out of the way, but don't want to complain too much about a 52-7 business-like win.
All right, we're going to hit some phone calls here on Hog Reaction. We're presented by Sawyer's, by the Stadium Shop on Razorback, and by Bud Light. And we're going to start tonight in Hot Springs and talk to Ryan. Ryan, you're on Hog Reaction.
Well, I completely agree with you about not wanting to complain, because how many times have we seen them let these lower tier levels come in and be in an absolute rock fight with us?
Too many.
That should not have been. So, I definitely, obviously you want to take this with a grain of salt, but I'm overall very well pleased. He looked like a starting quarterback that has been doing this. He looked like his throws were a little more under control than we saw last year to start the season. So I'm excited about that. And one of the things, because I call in quite a bit on the morning rush, and one thing that I was really wanting to look for out of this receiving core is, can they break tackles? Because we didn't see that a whole lot last year. And as much as I loved Armstrong, that was kind of one of the weaknesses of his games. He didn't really break tackles a whole lot. You actually seen that quite a bit today. That's probably the one thing that I'm excited about, and the one thing that I'm kind of concerned about is y'all kind of touched on it a little bit, is the pass pro from our running backs. Braylon did a decent job. He missed a couple. One of those sacks, he just let the guy blow. I don't know if he just took a bad angle or what, but he absolutely blew Braylon up and then blew by him and got Talon. So that definitely has got to be cleaned up. But the one other thing that I wanted to touch on that I don't see anybody talking about online or anything, and I've gone to some of the media guys and nobody said anything about it. We've not heard Sam Pittman really get after our guys on the performance of like a first half performance, even when they're playing good. Going into halftime, something this really stuck out to me, that we were up 30, or we had scored 31 points in the first half and was not happy with the performance. That kind of gives me the feeling like he has some really high expectations to this team, and they didn't fully play to what they're capable of, and that part excites me a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think and I think that's look, if you want to be excellent, that's what you have to. You can't just go along to get along. Like, you've got to have some sort of expectation of we're supposed to perform a certain way in these certain situations. I thought most of the first quarter was very pedestrian, but then obviously the offense kicked into high gear in the second quarter, and the defense only allowed one touchdown all day. Yeah. So, I mean, it's not even a mixed bag. It was just really kind of, the first 15 minutes or so that was just kind of rocky for a second, and then, things went the way that everyone thought they were going to go for the rest of the ball game there. So, But yeah, the running backs. That's a good point, Colton. That I thought he brought up there on some pass protection. But these are things that
you expect in week one. You expect a couple of those little road bumps here and there. You haven't played football in several months. It's been a whole year. It's been since December. These guys have strapped the helmet on and actually got out there and played against somebody that wasn't their teammate. So that's one of those things that you got to get back into the rhythm and the flow of the game. But at the same time, you really have to be sure that that's not something that continues to happen, because if you're not able to account for an extra blitzer when you're only going to have 5, 6 guys there blocking, you want to keep it tight end, that's fine. Your running backs have to be able to know that, look, I'm not getting the glory on this play leaking out of the backfield wide open. I have to stay in and protect my quarterback, because one thing, to Ryan's point as well, I thought that when Talon did have time today, because the receivers were more open, obviously he was able to check 1, check 2, check 3, stand and fire the ball a couple of times. But at the same time, he's long, got that loopy throwing motion here a little bit, so there were some overthrows and some misses, but I guess you could probably account for those as being early season jitters as well. But I think that the running backs and pass protection is just one thing that you can clean up in a quick film session.
I thought overall, though, operationally, I mean, how many times do we watch a first game for a season and it's just a hot mess with penalties and just poor execution, and people don't know, and the punt team can't get on when they're called for, and you have to burn a timeout. You didn't see a lot of that from an operational standpoint. And they only have 2 flags, I think, and no 3 penalties, and no turnovers today. So from that standpoint, to come out in the first game and not be sloppy like the rest of the rest, a lot of these other games that people have watched, that's something that they need to be commended for getting that done here tonight.
Well, and also Alabama A&M, that's to the inverse of that, Derek. They were on a drive with their second possession of the ball game too. They were kind of moving the ball a little bit as well, and then a couple of false start penalties, and they had a really bad block in the back call on a really good play. They leaked out their tight end, and look, if they would have scored again right there, things would have gotten really, really hairy, I think. But at the end of the day, the better athlete, the better team shined through. But there are some things that have to get cleaned up. But like you said, it was a clean game. They didn't turn the ball over. They were able to force one, I believe. So they had a good day. And when you win the turnover battle, more often than not, you're going to win the football game as well. And when you're playing a SWAC team, hopefully you do the same thing. And I think one thing to remember for everybody is that this Alabama A&M team plays in the same conference as UAPB, who you dismantled last year. And last year, the Bulldogs beat the Golden Lions 52-24. So that's not the same type of team. They're a little bit better program than UAPB.
Absolutely. Big Mike's on the phone here on Hog Reaction. Hello, Big Mike.
Hey, well, we got a kicker.
Yes,
we got a kick returner.
That is correct. Yep.
We got a kick returner who doesn't let the ball bounce off of him, and he ain't scared of nothing. Defense, I don't know about that. Offense, KJ, do it to everybody. He didn't, he wasn't stuck on one receiver like he was last year. So that's good. Not KJ.
Talon.
Yeah, Talon.
Yeah.
Well, there was another KJ in there tonight too. But
yes,
anyway, I don't know about what they're going to be able to do against a good team. Because there's nothing wrong with those guys. They weren't overly small, like a lot of times we played that first game. They're too small, too slow. But these guys weren't that, so they were better in some ways. So we ain't gonna know. I don't even know if we'll know anything after Arkansas State. I don't know how big and fast they are.
Right.
But I'm glad they won this stupid thing. My God, when he got 7-7, I started worrying. I said, oh my God, can these guys just score on us over and over again? But they couldn't. Anyway, I'm going to get off here. I'll talk to y'all later.
Thank you, Big Mike.
Thank you, Big Mike. Good to hear from you. Big Mike joining us on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline here on Hog Reaction.
He's right about Scott Starczyk, though. 53-yard, absolutely pure. He had a good day.
He did. He absolutely did. That's it's not very often. I heard Rick Schaefer talking about this in the postgame. It's not very often that a freshman comes in and nails a 50-yarder in their first ever college football game, but that's what he did today. And one thing earlier on the caller on struggling with lesser opponents, that is true, but not FCS. They've only lost to one FCS team ever, and it was that notorious Citadel game in 1992. And Citadel, by the way, I believe went on to win the FCS national title that year or competed for it. So it's not like they were, at the bottom of the barrel or anything. But yeah, so they have struggled. Liberty, BYU. If you want to go further back, Colorado State, San Jose State in the Chad Morris era. Yeah. But I don't know if we can keep counting those for very much longer. Number one, and number two, not against FCS. They've not spit the bit in one of these games in over 30 years. So.
Yeah, thank God they have a little bit of pride when they take on some players at that level. But I think that Big Mike his attitude after that first score was kind of the same as a lot of people, because one thing that kind of struck me as funny today, and I heard you mention this several times on Ruskin and Zach in the past couple of weeks. They've said, Coach Pittman has said, look, we're bigger and more physical and even faster in the secondary. I don't think I saw that today at times. I think I saw a secondary that wasn't as physical as I would like to see and wasn't nearly as able to go in there and stick their nose into the business and fill the alley as you're going to need to have in conference play. So I did see some guys that looked like they were capable of coming up and making, wrapping up and tackling other players from the other team. But at the same time, I think that outside of your second level of guys like Story and Dix, there's some holes and some things that need to be fixed on that defense.
I want to know if the real defense is the first quarter or quarters 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah.
That's what I want to know, because there was something, and you're right, although they are bigger. Mm-hmm. I believe that's true. But yeah, we don't know about the speed or anything until you get a little bit more of a higher quality receiving core out there against them. So, but I want to know like I know what the offense is. I think we all have a pretty good idea what this is going to be. Taylor's going to throw for maybe 4,000 yards, a bunch of touchdowns if he plays in all 12 games, if healthy. Knock on wood. He's going to throw for 4,000 yards and a bunch of touchdowns. But is the defense going to be quarters 2, 3, and 4, or is it going to be quarter 1? And if it's going to be quarter 1, there's going to be some 45-44 games, and I don't know which way they're going to go.
Well, they're all going to be one-score games, and we know Coach Pittman's record in one-score games is undesirable.
Right. 7 points or less, 6-16. So yeah, that's what's happened there. All right, we're going to get to more of your texts and your calls coming up. It is after this break, so stick with us here. This is Hog Reaction. Arkansas beats Alabama A&M 52-7. We're presented by Sawyer's, by the Stadium Shop on Razorback, and by Bud Light, and this is ESPN Arkansas. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Hog Reaction, presented by Bud Light, Sawyer's, and by the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville.
Hog fans, this is Robert.
And this is Matt.
This is Elizabeth, and we want to introduce the newest member to the Man family, Raleigh.
Hello, 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 and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback.
Raleigh, you're not really new to the family or the Stadium Shop.
Yeah, I've been around a few years, and I can say it's awesome to be a part of the only family, alumni, and locally owned Razorback store in Arkansas.
You mean the largest Razorback store south of the North Pole.
And thank goodness we are the largest, because we've been receiving so much new stuff lately, like the new Nike jerseys and sideline apparel, as well as your favorite brands like Champion, Tommy Bahama, and Cutter and Buck, and just way too much stuff to mention here.
Hey, Raleigh, what state's famous for their small drinks?
Raleigh don't.
Matt, I gotta try. What state is famous for the smallest drinks?
Minnesota.
See, I told you.
Yeah, his dad jokes are so legendary.
Anyway, stop by the store at 989 South Razorback Road next time you're in Fayetteville.
Or call us at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486.
Or shop the Googleator Facegram interweb page.
Dad, it's called a website, and it's shoponrazorback.com. Folks, it just does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs!
Who can you trust to sell your home for the most money with the least amount of drama? You need a team of agents with decades of experience, commitment, and of course, tens of thousands in marketing. I'm talking about the Limbird team. Tara Limbird Real Estate Group has sold over $1 billion in real estate. Tara's team can give you a cash offer in 72 hours, or use Tara's high-octane marketing to sell your home quite possibly for thousands over asking. Find out more at limbirdteam.com. LIMBIRD.
Do you need closure on your garage? Call Grit Garage Doors. Whether it's a new door, a squeaky closing sound, a broken spring, or just off track, Grit is who you can trust. Call Grit. There's no door Grit can't close. Local team, local service with honesty and integrity. Call Grit Garage Doors. 479-430-3667. That's 479-430-DOOR. Grit is who you can trust.
When electrical needs pop up, don't get left in the dark. Call the local team that's trusted on and off the field. Harrison Electric. That's who homeowners and local businesses choose. Harrison Electric. Honest, dependable, and they leave no mess behind. From quick fixes to major upgrades, Harrison Electric is your go-to for all your electrical projects. Don't sit on the sideline with electrical problems. Get back in the game with the pros you can count on. Harrison Electric. Honest, quick, trusted. 652-3077.
Equipment down? Got a leak? Lost pressure? Don't let hydraulic problems slow you down. At Central Hydraulics in Fort Smith, we've got the power to keep you moving. From hoses and fittings to full system repairs, our expert team delivers top quality service fast. Central Hydraulics specializes in hydraulic pumps, cylinders, and custom-built solutions, so you can get back to work. Heavy machinery, farming equipment, construction rigs, if it runs on hydraulics, we've got you covered. Visit Central Hydraulics today or call 479-646-0471 for fast, reliable service.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. Is your business's IT infrastructure secure? At Dixie Digital, we provide comprehensive managed IT services to ensure your systems are running smoothly and your data is protected. Combine that with Xerox, Brother, and Epson reliable printers and copiers, and you've got everything you need for success. Call us today at 783-6600 to learn more about our IT services and special offers. Dixie Digital Imaging, your trusted partner for IT and document management.
Take your dining to a whole new level at Blue Point Seafood and Steak Restaurant. You'll find the finest cuts of steak and the freshest seafood in an amazing atmosphere. Blue Point Seafood and Steak Restaurant is at Chaffee Crossing, across from the Arkansas Colleges of Health Education on Chad Colley Drive. When your night deserves the best, call 597-4081 for reservations or book online at Toast. Blue Point Seafood and Steak Restaurant, your destination for not only great food, but an amazing experience. Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witts Marine on North 11th Street, is your place. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, 803 North 11th Street in Fort Smith, 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witts Marine at Make a Wake Bait and Tackle.
If it rumbles, roars, or needs a little more power, take it to Exhausted Muffler and Motorsports in Clarksville. From muffler and catalytic converter repair to full custom exhaust systems, they've got you covered. Need welding or mobile welding along with equipment repair? They do that too. Custom fabrication done right. Located at 215 East Taylor Road. For performance, precision, and power, it's Exhausted Muffler and Motorsports. Call today at 479-214-2729 or stop by today.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. You're listening to Hog Reaction, presented by Bud Light, proud sponsor of Arkansas Athletics. Also presented by Sawyer's, everything for outside the house, and by the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville.
They give to Russell, touchdown Arkansas.
Don't miss Hog Reaction after every football game. Call or text the program at 877-377-6963.
I'll tell you where the best athletes probably in Arkansas are. You're going to laugh. Probably in the prisons and in the jails.
This is Hog Reaction.
Back at it here on Hog Reaction, coming to you over ESPN Arkansas. And they hit that line now out, brought to you by Taco Bell. We're presented by Sawyer's, by the Stadium Shop on Razorback, and by Bud Light. And you can react to the game. What do you think? What do you like? What are you concerned about? After Arkansas's win over Alabama A&M at 52-7, the number is 877-377-6963. Let me grab a few texts here from Brandon on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. 3 takeaways from the game. Number 1, offense is solid and poised for a big year. Brandon credits O-line play and Taylon Green's decision-making and accuracy. 2, Hogs are solid at kicker again. 3, defense has some work to do. So those are Brandon's thoughts. You know, the kicker thing, it's good to be excited, but you got to remember that is a 12 inches between the ears situation. There slumps happen, hot streaks happen, all of that can happen. So I mean, a very positive sign to come out and nail it on your first game. But that is a position that is very It's very, based in the psychology and the positive, vibes situation there. So, but a good start for him in his first game. Let's see here. Here is another one here. Daniel from Uniontown texting in. Secondary and O-line will be the demise this year. All right. Rick from Fayetteville. Alabama A&M will win the SWAC and was way better than UAPB a year ago. Their lines were huge. Yeah, they had a lot of big people out there.
Yeah.
A lot of big people out there for sure. All right, let's go to Charlie in Camden on Hog Reaction here on ESPN Arkansas. Hi, Charlie.
What's up, guys? Look, I actually agree. They were bigger than I thought they would be. One of the things that caught my eye early was they were really physical. Like when they were hitting us, like they were hitting us harder than we were hitting them. Now, granted, I thought defensively, or as the game went on, yes, we responded, started to hit back, and we were better. Obviously, the only things that concern me really with the O-line, it's never. I didn't see necessarily physically us losing battles. My issue is still with the twist game. Last year, it's like we have some trouble communicating with, and look, I know a couple of times they sent more guys than we could block, and we got to know who's hot in that situation. That's not just on Talon, by the way. The receivers got to know who needs to break their route off quicker. They talked about all week. They were come after us. And Sam was right. They did. And they got us on that one early in the first half. I think, was it Washington that missed the block? Linebackers, moved around later in the play, and then came through, and Washington didn't see it. But that's the stuff that we have to clean up. We have got to get away from that stuff. As far as Talon, he was great. I just don't like us having to rely on him, like having to run for his life and get these first downs and stretch for. I just hope that's not something that we have to do consistently to move the ball, because that's the only thing that might be a little bit worrisome. We got to find a way to get the ball out a little quicker, and that's not all on him. That's everybody. And we got to run the ball a little bit better too. Anyways, y'all was going.
All right, thank you, Charlie.
Thanks, Charlie.
Appreciate the phone call there. Something I was just thinking about with watching the team today. And listen, it's one game, but it's all we have. So we're going to have to, we have to be where our feet are in terms of analyzing this thing. But it looked to me, one of the things that's bothered me the last few years is what I've called is this unearned arrogance with Razorback football. Just the overall way that they carry themselves as if they've accomplished a lot, and they've actually accomplished very little.
The bare minimum, maybe.
Well, today, Colton, I saw a little less cockiness and confidence is what I saw today from this team. I didn't see, a lot of Cadillacing and showboating. You see celebrations, of course, but, it just, the overall vibe I got from watching this game on TV, which I haven't gotten very often in the last few years, is a group that was confident and prepared and ready to go, and they weren't trying to overcompensate with all of this, machismo, cockiness, arrogance, and just over the top stuff like that. I thought this team in the first game they looked different to me from that standpoint, because I've seen this team. They're picking fights. They're just doing dumb stuff over the last few years, and for nothing. For no reason. This team though looked confident. They did not look cocky today, which is different.
Definitely a more appropriate attitude. I think that if you go into every game and you have this cockiness and this swagger about you that you're going to win no matter what, you're not giving any respect to your opponent. And I do think that, obviously it's very obvious to everybody that watched the game, Alabama A&M really does not belong on the same field as the Razorbacks. No. And that's okay. But at the end of the day, like you said, you can't go out there and showboat and flex and do all those things. And yeah, they did the Ronaldo celebration and everything like that, and it was fun. But at the same time, I did see one of the coaches come over to a player that was celebrating and, remind them, hey, you're supposed to do that against this type of team. You're supposed to do that against any type of team. And, one thing I think I think it was Ryan that called in and said that he liked how Sam Pittman said that he wasn't pleased with the first half, even though they were up by 4 scores at that point, or 3 scores, and depending on how you look at it, 24 points, 31-7. He wasn't pleased with the effort. It wasn't pleased with the execution. I think that there is something to that as well, because, look, Coach Pittman, he does care about the university. He does care about being a Razorback. I know he wants to do well for the players and everything. But look, it's not like he's at the top of the list for everybody when it comes to intelligent, very, very good football coaches. I mean, he doesn't have a lot of experience outside of this here at the University of Arkansas. So when he's able to go out there and say, look, our guys didn't do good enough in the past, Coach Pippen really hasn't done that. He's kind of kicked the can down the road a couple of times. So I think the change attitude from him is good. Obviously, he was able to run out through the A again today. Maybe he felt a little bit rejuvenation doing that. And I think that they're going to get better as the season goes on, hopefully, and shore up some things. But Charlie made a good point about the offensive line and the twist game and things like that. It's those little things that you need to be able to prepare for at any point in the season because, look, you could go down to Memphis in a couple of weeks, and the guys that'll be twisting in Memphis are a little bit better than the folks at Alabama A&M.
That's right. Yeah, that's a good point there also. But, in the first game, you want to have, small, what I would call small corrections. Now, you could, obviously, these could turn into big problems if not addressed, but you want to have small corrections and not, where are we going corrections like some teams are after this first week. Like Alabama, where are we going?
Oh.
Texas, where are we going? Can Arch Manning play?
Oh my gosh!
These are like the existential crises that are happening around college football, and what Arkansas is going to worry about this week, and obviously preparing for ASU. I think it's very important that they not look ahead to Ole Miss and be where your feet are, and put 52-7 on ASU and see if they want to have Arkansas come to Jonesboro sometime.
You're exactly right.
On this next Saturday. But we're talking about small corrections here in the opener, which it has to be a positive sign for fans. We're talking about things. We're not talking about total position groups being a failure in this game over the whole course of the game. Were there issues at times with certain spots? Sure. But over the 4 quarters, I mean, I can't look at one spot and be like, that is a major problem. I'm curious about the offensive line, maybe a little bit concerned. Defensively, sure, still wondering about the speed there. But you leave this game not going, where do we go from here?
Yeah.
And some teams in their first game are going, well, where do we go from here?
Yeah, and you mentioned Texas and everything, and the struggles with Arch Manning today. Boy, it looked like today if he didn't have that last name, he could have just carved out a nice career down there at Rice or something. And speaking of Rice, you remember in 2021, the best season in Razorback football that we've had in years? Who played that first game? And I know Rice is a little bit better than Alabama A&M, but you kicked the ball around and didn't do a whole lot of stuff against Rice either. And so there were some things that year where everybody was like, look, we've got glaring problems on the offensive line, glaring problems here and there. This is an experienced team. And, I mean, this is an experienced team as well. And that team didn't do nearly as good. Obviously, Rice is probably a little bit better than Alabama A&M, but maybe not too much. After all, it is Rice. So I think that there's still some things that they can take from this game. Obviously, they need to correct. But like you said at the beginning of the broadcast, Derek, I mean, it's businesslike. They went out there. They did exactly what they had to do. And I think there's a lot of more positives that you can take from this game than negatives. But at the end of the day, based off who you're playing, you really can't take too much from this at all. I mean, other than, yes, you did spread the ball around. Yes, there were some plays that were made on the offensive side of the football that were really, really nice to see from some of your wide receivers. But, like you said, beat Arkansas State 52-7. Go down to Memphis or go into Ole Miss and, tell everybody that's been dogging you all preseason long to shut up by going in there and taking care of the Rebels. So, and they're up right now on Georgia State 25-7 at halftime. And Georgia State's not a bad football program, but I think that a lot of fans in Oxford probably would have liked to see some more execution at Vaught Hemingway tonight.
All right, yes, this is Hog Reaction on ESPN Arkansas, and we will be happy to continue to get your thoughts on the phones or either on the text on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline on the Arkansas game. But when we come back, I do want to look at some of the other noteworthy games going on. LSU right now, Texas A&M right now. We'll talk about that. Even Arkansas State right now. They are in action over in Jonesboro at the Vault. So we will talk about that. We also want to hear your continued thoughts on the Razorbacks and what does it look like for you moving forward after this performance. So stay with us here. Hog Reaction presented by Sawyer's, the Stadium Shop, and by Bud Light. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Hog Reaction, presented by Bud Light, Sawyer's, and by the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville.
Who can you trust to sell your home for the most money with the least amount of drama? You need a team of agents with decades of experience, commitment, and of course, tens of thousands in marketing. I'm talking about the Limbird team. Tara Limbird, Limbird Real Estate Group, has sold over $1 billion in real estate. Tara's team can give you a cash offer in 72 hours, or use Tara's high-octane marketing to sell your home quite possibly for thousands over asking. Find out more at limbirdteam.com. LIMBIRD.
Here's to you and yours from the friendly folks at In Good Spirits, your upscale liquor store in Fort Smith. At In Good Spirits, they've got what your taste buds are craving, including flavorful wines from around the world, scrumptious brandies and liqueurs, tempting whiskeys and beers, and fine cigars. Treat yourself to the best as you listen to the game. Check out In Good Spirits, 12100 Highway 71 South, across from Riley Farms in Fort Smith.
Life is loud, chaotic, hilarious, and occasionally peaceful. Your life fits you, so why settle for life insurance that fits someone else? At Shelter Insurance, our local agents help you design a personal protection plan backed by award-winning customer service. We're your shield. We're your shelter. Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
Call Wade Gilkey or Chris Dooley in Fort Smith.
Need a little extra cash? Go see Rusty at Golden Gym Pawn, 310 West Center in Greenwood. Get the money you need with loans on jewelry, guns, tools, and electronics. If you're looking for a gift, they have a large selection of jewelry to choose from, and Rusty can take care of all jewelry repair. Stop by Golden Gym Pawn today, 310 West Center in Greenwood, or call 996-2792. Open 9 to 5:30 Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, and 9 to 3 on Wednesday. Golden Gym Pawn.
At Arvest Bank, we believe small businesses are the backbone of communities. Whether you're just getting your business off the ground, planning for future growth, or managing the day-to-day, we want you to thrive. That's why we help businesses of all kinds find their strength. Because everyone deserves a financial partner who cares. Arvest Bank, we believe.
Top CDL Academy is a licensed Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration that provides the federal required training to obtain both Class A and Class B CDL licenses. Our program provides assistance with employment after graduation. We have finance and grant options available. Students straight out of class have started new careers earning $70,000 to $140,000 per year, and training is provided for all 50 states. Call today, 479-632-1050. COP CDL Academy.
Doe's Eat Place has been serving award-winning steaks for over 20 years, and now they're offering smoked prime rib on the weekends. It's a limited supply, so get your reservations in early. Try one of their delicious appetizers or your choice of drinks from the area's largest selection of wine, beer, and liquor. Doe's Eat Place open Tuesday through Thursday 5 to 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended. Follow them on Facebook for more upcoming features and events. Call 479-784-9111 for Doe's Eat Place, 422 North 3rd Street in Fort Smith.
Do you need closure on your garage? Call Grit Garage Doors. Whether it's a new door, a squeaky closing sound, a broken spring, or just off track, Grit is who you can trust. Call Grit. There's no door Grit can't close. Local team, local service with honesty and integrity. Call Grit Garage Doors. 479-430-3667. That's 479-430-DOOR. Grit is who you can trust.
You're listening to Hog Reaction, presented by Bud Light, proud sponsor of Arkansas Athletics. Also presented by Sawyer's, everything for outside the house, and by the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville.
They give to Russell, touchdown Arkansas.
Don't miss Hog Reaction after every football game. 63.
I'll tell you where the best athletes probably in Arkansas are. You're going to laugh. Probably in the prisons and in the jails.
This is Hog Reaction.
Oh, maybe we can get them eligible somehow or something. I
We
don't
need
know.
some defensive linemen now.
That would help. That would help. All right, Hog Reaction here again. Derek Ruskin here, Colton Little Air on ESPN Arkansas, and the Hit That Line Now app, which is brought to you by Taco Bell. Want to keep talking about Arkansas and Alabama A&M tonight and the 52-7 win for the Razorbacks, but also want to spend some time looking at some of the other things that are going on here around college football. A&M, Texas A&M, and UTSA are in the third quarter now, and Texas A&M is they're letting UTSA hang around here at Kyle Field. It's they've got a graphic up on the screen right now, so I don't have the score for you at this very instant.
17-28, I believe.
28-17. A&M's leading by 11 in the third quarter there at Kyle Field. So you have a situation with Texas A&M, another ranked SEC team. Kind of a lackluster performance by them against UTSA, and a guy who, whenever the Arkansas job is open again, 1 year, 5 years, whatever it may be, there will be a lot of fans that are like, go get Jeff Traylor out of UTSA, and his team is putting up a solid effort tonight against the Aggies in a incredibly rowdy environment down in Kyle Field.
A part of that really proud Chad Morris coaching tree. That's
the only part of the Chad Morris coaching tree.
Long and lengthy. Its roots go deep. But Jeff Traylor is a really good coach, and I think that UTSA is building themselves into a decent and attractive program. And like you said, they're hanging around right now with Texas A&M, who they're returning a lot of experience. And that's one thing that in college football obviously has been able to make national champions these last couple years. So having guys coming back for their fourth, their fifth year sometimes is obviously really important. And Texas A&M is loaded with that type of player, guys that have been around, transfers that have played at multiple levels of football, guys that have a lot of snaps, as do your Arkansas Razorbacks as well. So that's an important factor. But I mean, at this point, I think that Texas A&M would love to see a little bit more out of Marcel Reed, but there have been times where he's looked great and times where he hasn't, and he just had a nice completion right there, it looks like to me. But there was a lot of college football on today that surprised me, Derek, and a lot of it happened in Columbus.
Well, yeah, that was the big game of the day. A thing that struck me so far, and right now Clemson's up 10-3 on LSU they just started the third quarter
in the real Death Valley
in South Carolina. All dirt roads lead to Clemson, as our friend Brandon Evans says from 4029 News. But 14-7, not a lot of points in there. So through one marquee game and half of another marquee game, not a lot of points going on here. And I don't quite know what to make of this. Is the quarterback play suspect? Are the defenses elite? It's we need more information to sort it out. But you didn't expect 14-7 in that much hyped Texas and Ohio State game, and I don't know if we expected 10-3 in this LSU Clemson game. I don't think Cade Klubnik's very good, and I don't know about Nussmeier either. So that may be the issue in this game, is just not elite quarterback play in the Clemson LSU game right now.
Well, it could be that, like you said. I mean, Garrett Nussmeier, he was a part of that LSU team in 2021. He that Arkansas beat in Baton Rouge, came in and threw an absolute dime. So he's been around a while and played a lot of football. Had to sit behind Jaden Daniels and learn some things, but I don't know that he's really showed that on the field so far tonight. And Clemson's going to have a really, really good football team, especially that front four on defense. It seems like they're putting a draft pick out of Clemson every year that had the white paw on his helmet. So I know that Clemson's going to have a good football team, but I think one thing that can't be overstated is that I think just Brian Kelly just pees his pants at these big games at the start of the year, because there's just so much, like you said, everybody has to deal with all these crazy penalties and the kind of the jitters and, getting everything back into a rhythm of playing football at a high level. And I think that Brian Kelly has not shown a lot of success at that at all while he's been in Baton Rouge. And it looks like if things continue to go the way they are right now in South Carolina, that it's going to be the same thing. And Brian Kelly's going to bang the drum and pound the desk again in the press conference and give us another clippable quote. Yeah. Can't wait.
Hit the table again. Again. Yeah. Last year, if folks may not remember, they gacked it up against USC in one of these big showcase opener games, and that's when he pounded the table in anger. You can see all that on the first episode of that Netflix show about the SEC. So there's a couple of things that have stood out to me. Everything else is kind of going according to plan. Ole Miss is up 25-7 on Georgia State. They just started the second half there, and I haven't checked on Florida in a while, but they were up big. OU's up big. So those are everything else. Florida's up 48-0 in the fourth quarter. Yep. Vanderbilt 38, Charleston Southern 0. That's another SEC game going on right now. They're in the fourth quarter in that game. And and I never thought I'd say this, but looking ahead to Arkansas's opponent next week, Arkansas State. They're up 42-17 on SEMO in the fourth quarter, Colton. So there you go. Again, didn't know we'd be saying that ever. And I kind of think it's a one-night only situation, but hey, it's going to be one night or late afternoon next Saturday. But there you go. A-State is up big on SEMO.
Well, I know they've been looking forward to playing this game for a long time in Jonesboro, and I think for one final little go-around at War Memorial, we hope, we pray, we ask everybody to please no longer donate to the cause for playing in War Memorial. Hopefully that's all done and over with, and you go out there with a win. But, I mean, does Butch Jones have anything left in the tank for one final, maybe go around, maybe, something like this? Maybe he could find himself back in the SEC. That'd be so juicy if he was able to do that, but I don't know. I mean, SEMO is probably no better of a school than Alabama A&M, and at the end of the day, I think it's going to be probably a closer game than some people think. I know that Arkansas State's going to be ready. We had Coach Nutt on halftime a couple of weeks ago, and he said, hey, it's going to be Arkansas State's Super Bowl, and so that's probably what it's going to be.
Right. Yeah, no, that's definitely true. And it's going to be they're going to want it, and Arkansas is going to have to avoid peeking ahead to Ole Miss and be focused on Arkansas State next week, because if they allow them to hang around, it could go, it could get sideways in what may very well be the Razorback Swan Song at War Memorial Stadium in Little Rock. Let's see here. Here's a text on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. It really sucks when you totally ignore Mississippi State fans. Two teams went 2-10 and won. Florida State and Mississippi State. One in the SEC and one not. Change your name. All right.
Okay.
Mississippi State went on the road to Hattiesburg today and beat Southern Miss.
They
Very
did.
Good.
Blake Shapen had a decent game.
Yeah. Congratulations to the Bulldogs. We were see what was happening is we were focusing on the things that are kind of happening right now, the games that are happening right now before we went back in time and talked about some of the action from earlier in the day. It's a medium of urgency. We're live now, so we can talk about the things happening right now. A&M just scored another touchdown, by the way, so they're up 35-17, getting a little separation from the Roadrunners of UTSA in that particular ballgame. See, that's happening live now, so we updated it. That's how that works. All right. You can text us or call us here at 877-377-6963, the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Here is Reverend Tanner. Congratulations to Dow Loggins on getting his first head coaching win yesterday. Yes, Appalachian State over Charlotte at the Panthers Stadium there in Charlotte, North Carolina. And,
Yeah, pretty good win for the Mountaineers. Fear the near, baby. Good stuff.
That's exactly right. They get their first win of the Dowell Loggins era.
And they did that with a handful of Razorbacks, former Razorbacks as well. I saw Dylan Haas, brother of Luke Haas, made a nice play. I think he forced a fumble last night for Appalachian State. So pretty cool to see that. And always happy for Dowell.
Right. Here's a couple. I'll tell you what, we'll pick this up after the break. There's a couple of things here that have some topics that have been brought up on the text line that I think we can chop up for a little bit here. So we will get to that coming up here in just a little bit. 877-377-6963. I'm writing them down so I don't forget them because that's what I tend to do. All right, let me tell you about our sponsors here on Hog Reaction. Sawyer's, everything for outside the house. Sunrooms, patios, covers, pergolas, driveways, and windows, including decorative concrete. You can find them at sawyers-sunrooms.com. The Stadium Shop on Razorback, your game day headquarters. Top brands like Nike, Champion, Tommy Bahama, and Comfort Wash. The Stadium Shop has everything you need to get game day ready. It does not get more Razorback than the Stadium Shop. 989 South Razorback Road, or go online anytime at shoponrazorback.com. And by Bud Light, proud sponsor of Razorback Athletics. All right. More coming up here on Hog Reaction. Stay where you are on ESPN Arkansas.
You're listening to Hog Reaction, presented by Bud Light, Sawyers, and by the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville.
Your home is your biggest asset. So when you decide to add a sunroom, a patio cover, a new driveway, or new windows, you need to call a company you can trust. Sawyers has been part of your community for over 30 years. They're insured, licensed, and have 100% financing for all of their products. Take all the worry out of your next project. Call Sawyers and let them handle it from permitting to completion. Sawyers, serving the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas with a full showroom located in Fort Smith or online at sawyers-sunrooms.com.
Lewis Automotive has been serving Northwest Arkansas for over 75 years and is just getting started. Our knowledgeable sales team is here to find you the perfect vehicle to fit not only your lifestyle, but also your budget.
Our factory-trained service technicians keep your vehicle running at optimal level.
And if you're looking for genuine parts and accessories, our team has exactly what you need.
Relax in our comfortable lounge, and when your car's ready, we'll return it to you spotless.
Thank you for being a part of our story.
Come see us at Lewis Automotive Group, where you're more than a customer, you're family.
The Bush Guide, cold and smooth survival skills. For a successful stint in the great outdoors, pack accordingly. Place heavy essentials near your spine for stability in rough terrain, with light items near the bottom. Now, you may be wondering, where does the Bush Light go? In your stomach. Head for the mountains. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2023, Anheuser-Busch, Busch Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Family owned and operated since 1950, Crabtree RV Center is proud to have served the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas for 75 amazing years. From a small dealership on Midland Boulevard in Fort Smith to 17 acres located at the junction of I-40 and I-49 in Alma, Arkansas, Crabtree RV Center is your one-stop shop for sales, service, and parts. Come celebrate 75 years with us and take advantage of spectacular savings all year long. Crabtree RV Center, making your family's dreams come true for over 70 years.
At Shelter Insurance, we believe insurance should adjust to fit your needs. That's why we work with you to design an auto, home, and life insurance plan that's particular to you. Insurance that fits just right. And Shelter is known for our award-winning customer service, satisfied customers, and a plan for you. Ready to check us out? Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
Call Ted McAvoy in Van Buren.
Equipment down? Got a leak? Lost pressure? Don't let hydraulic problems slow you down. At Central Hydraulics in Fort Smith, we've got the power to keep you moving. From hoses and fittings to full system repairs, our expert team delivers top quality service fast. Central Hydraulics specializes in hydraulic pumps, cylinders, and custom-built solutions, so you can get back to work. Heavy machinery, farming equipment, construction rigs, if it runs on hydraulics, we've got you covered. Visit Central Hydraulics today or call 479-646-0471 for fast, reliable service.
Take your dining to a whole new level at Blue Point Seafood and Steak Restaurant. You'll find the finest cuts of steak and the freshest seafood in an amazing atmosphere. Blue Point Seafood and Steak Restaurant is at Chaffee Crossing, across from the Arkansas Colleges of Health Education on Chad Colley Drive. When your night deserves the best, call 597-4081 for reservations or book online at Toast. Blue Point Seafood and Steak Restaurant, your destination for not only great food, but an amazing experience. Do you need closure on your garage? Call Grit Garage Doors. Whether it's a new door, a squeaky closing sound, a broken spring, or just off track, Grit is who you can trust. Call Grit. There's no door Grit can't close. Local team, local service with honesty and integrity. Call Grit Garage Doors. 479-430-3667. That's 479-430-DOOR. Grit is who you can trust.
Colorworks Paint and Body in Barling offers professional automotive painting, bodywork, and fabrication that is unsurpassed in talent and dedication. Owner Andy Harrod uses the latest in collision repair technology to ensure all damage is addressed, whether it's visible or hidden, and works with all insurance companies. Andy and his crew have the experience and commitment to give you complete trust in the repair of your vehicle, no matter the size of the job. Colorworks is located at 1206 4th Street in Barling, across from Dollar General, and is on Facebook, where you can check out their work.
Switching is easy. We do it all the time. We switch on the lights. We switch TV channels. Some of us switch partners while square dancing. Well, that's a stretch. But what's not a stretch is how you can switch and save with State Farm. In fact, State Farm agent Heath Roberts right here in the River Valley can switch you over so you can start saving today. Heath and his team are ready to welcome you to the State Farm neighborhood. With Heath Roberts, it's easy to switch and save. When you want the real deal, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call Heath Roberts at 479-452-4088.
You're listening to Hog Reaction, presented by Bud Light, proud sponsor of Arkansas Athletics. Also presented by Sawyer's, everything for outside the house, and by the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville.
They give to Russell, touchdown Arkansas.
Don't miss Hog Reaction after every football game. Call or text the program at 877-377-6963.
I'll tell you where the best athletes probably in Arkansas are. You're going to laugh. Probably in the prisons and in the jails.
This is Hog Reaction.
We're back here, ESPN Arkansas, Hog Reaction, 52-7. Arkansas wins. You got a thought, something you're excited about, something that worries you, you can text us or call us, Lewis Automotive Group Hotline, 877-377-6963. We will talk about Arkansas if you want. However, the last two texts back-to-back, Colton, that we have gotten are about the Alabama Crimson Tide. Pete in Cave City, is Alabama dead? Hogwild and Van Buren, how much longer before they run DeBoer out of Tuscaloosa? It is not going well, as it generally doesn't for the man who follows the man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's always a tough spot to be in when you follow the GOAT in Nick Saban there at Alabama. But not a great start today. Now, I think Florida State's better than they were the 2-10. I don't think they're the 2-10 team again this year. So I think they're better. And Gus Malzahn is Alabama's daddy. Let's call that what it is.
Absolutely.
I think he's got 6 wins over them in both in Auburn and now as the offensive coordinator at Florida State. But in T-Town, they're not worried about little things this week. They are having that existential crisis of where do we go from here after that lackluster performance against Florida State today.
Uncharted territory for the Crimson Tide. Not sure. I don't remember the last time they ever lost a game in August, if they really, truly, honestly ever have. Early season losses is just not really Alabama's thing. And what's so weird about this, yes, DeBoer has to follow the man, but look, DeBoer's one of the best coaches in college football. I mean, before he came to Alabama, everywhere he had went, he'd been a winner, bar none. We took Washington to a national title game. Washington. Washington at the end of the day. But I mean, if you're an Alabama fan, you have never been in this position before, where you do not have faith in your head coach. It's such a strange, unfamiliar place to be, and I know that they're missing Jam Miller, I believe, as their running back. But at the end of the day, you should beat Florida State. They went 2-10 last year, and I know they've reloaded and got some things. Norvell is also a good coach, but I think that everybody going into this season thought, look, Alabama's reloaded. They still have the same type of Alabama players, but maybe they're not going to be limited by the quarterback play like they were last year with Milroe. But I didn't see anything from Simpson that was a step up. So
no. Simpson looks very ordinary to me.
Very pedestrian, like you said earlier. I mean, just not like a type of quarterback we're used to seeing from Alabama. Because what do you have to do at Alabama? That's why I got so mad at what's-his-face, A.J. McCarron earlier this season when he talked about how Taylon Green is a bad thrower of the football. Well, A.J. McCarron, you don't have to be a good thrower of the football at Alabama. All you have to do is throw it to Amari Cooper or Julio Jones like he did. And I mean, he's a good game manager. But at Alabama, that's what you have to do. Get the ball to your playmakers. Ryan Williams, everybody else. Number 5 had a good game today for Alabama. But at the end of the day, that's what you have to do. That's your job. That's your expectation. Nobody's expecting you to light the world on fire. And in DeBoer's offense, it's kind of the same way. So you have to be able to do that. And like you said, Derek, just not very good today.
So a lot of historical things in this game, and it was pointed out to on one of the texts here just a moment ago. First loss in a season opener since 2001 for Alabama. And it's their largest season opening loss since that historic 1970 game against USC, 42-21. Also, Alabama's first regular season non-conference loss to an unranked team since UL Monroe in 2007, Nick Saban's first year at Alabama. So that was a 54-game streak going on. And Florida State becomes the first unranked ACC team to beat a top 10 SEC team since 2004 in the Peach Bowl when Clemson beat number 6 Tennessee and Phil Fulmer. So there's going to be a lot of talking going on in the state of Alabama about what happens now. And by the way, coincidentally, next week Alabama plays ULM in the home opener at Bryant-Denny Saban Stadium or whatever they call it now. So, yeah, I mean it's not looking good. I don't know, what the lack of patience is down there with a guy that's just starting his second year, but it's not looking good. It's looking like when Alabama was allowed to pay people and no one else was, the Tide were running roughshod through college football. And now that everybody's paying everybody, it doesn't look like Alabama has that quite that same advantage as they did once upon a time, where they could put, you could go 3 deep with 5 stars at every position on the offense and the defense, and have that competition in practice that makes you excellent. Doesn't look like that's what's happening here. Is that the field has been leveled to a certain extent, and you can't hoard talent like that. They're either going to leave in the portal, or leave in the portal and get some more money elsewhere because they want to play and they want to get paid, and probably not in that order. So.
I mean, I'm rooting for chaos, Derek. I'd hope for him to get fired after they lose to Wisconsin, hypothetically, on September 13th. I mean, wouldn't that be? I mean, I don't think that would actually happen. I don't know what the patience level is for Alabama. Like I said, they've not been in this position for a long time.
Yeah.
You can give a guy a pass going, 8-4 in his first year. You can or 9 wins in the bowl game, I'm sure. But you can give a guy a pass because it's a brand new ball game, going from Washington and going into the SEC, into the Hornets' nest, following the man, like you said. You can give him a pass for that. But when you don't do anything like people have expected you to do all offseason long against Florida State, a team that went 2-10 last year, like you said, it seems like when things were even but not so even, Alabama obviously had a leg up. But now everybody's able to dip into the honey a little bit, and there's sugar to be spread around. If that job opens up, Derek, the domino effect, the chaos that will reign after that. I mean, which SEC coach is taking that job? Or are they going to, because I don't think they'll hire outside of the SEC again. I don't know how that's going to work out for them. I mean, you have to have someone that is intimately familiar with maybe how Alabama works at this point. So, I don't know.
That's whenever, not if, when that job is open, and again, it could be 1 year, 5 years, whatever it is, at Alabama, that's one of those jobs where everybody else goes pause until that domino falls. And then everybody else starts to fill in their respective choices throughout the college football landscape. But yeah, that is I mean, going down there and losing is one thing, but a 14-point loss on the road, and it's only 14 points. 31-17 is one of those scores that looks like a giant blowout. But they lost by 14 points. So maybe there's something they can hang their hat on here. By the way, it's not lost on me, as someone who's lived in Arkansas my entire life, that Alabama rolls off Arkansas' schedule and Alabama gets bad. Yep. I mean, that is not lost on me. I have noticed that, and I don't like it. But
it's unfair.
What are you going to do? Vanderbilt rolls off the schedule and they get good, so I guess that kind of counters it out a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah, the universe is right, and the universe was right today. I mean, Corso's final game, and he picked Florida State too. He was the only one up there on the panel to do that. So college football gods were smiling down, I believe, on Coach Corso's final day. Because I mean, Florida State, that's a big upset. Like you said, you rattle off the stats, historic in many ways.
Every place connected to him today won.
That's right.
Florida State, Navy, Maryland,
Indiana.
There's another one. Louisville. That's right. They all won today. How about that?
That's beautiful. That's why that's perfect. Perfect.
Yeah, you can't. Who says you can't be romantic about college football? That was great, and that was a great thing there to have that in front of the whole stadium.
It was
for his final pick there on the public
put it
address.
On too. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was really nicely done. I like the tux. That was a nice thing.
It was classic.
And it was a great send off
all the way down
for a great ambassador to college football.
All the way down to the shot of that beautiful Dixon Ticonderoga. I mean, it was perfect.
Of course.
Perfect.
Got to have the pencil. And I think it's a lesson we should all, anybody that talks into a microphone about sports, we all need to learn from Lee Corso when he says it's entertainment, sweetheart. Football's the vehicle.
Yeah.
That is what we all need to be, but needs to be our guiding principle in everything that we do here as anybody talks into a microphone about college football. All right, we're going to take another break. We'll get back into things here around Fayetteville as Arkansas wins big time 52-7 over Alabama A&M. What did you like? What are you concerned about? We'll talk more about it coming up here. Hog Reaction on ESPN Arkansas.
You're listening to Hog Reaction, presented by Bud Light, Sawyers, and by the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville.
Your home is your biggest asset. So when you decide to add a sunroom, a patio cover, a new driveway, or new windows, you need to call a company you can trust. Sawyers has been part of your community for over 30 years. They're insured, licensed, and have 100% financing for all of their products. Take all the worry out of your next project. Call Sawyers and let them handle it from permitting to completion. Sawyers, serving the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas with a full showroom located in Fort Smith or online at sawyers-sunrooms.com.
Harry Robinson Salisol Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisol.
Budweiser, the American lager. Time-honored recipe, true to our original process, brewed using the choicest hops, rice, and best barley malt, delivering great quality beer since 1876. Budweiser. This Bud's for you. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2024 Anheuser-Busch Budweiser Lager Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Who can you trust to sell your home for the most money with the least amount of drama? You need a team of agents with decades of experience, commitment, and of course, tens of thousands in marketing. I'm talking about the Limbird team. Tara Limbird Real Estate Group has sold over $1 billion in real estate. Tara's team can give you a cash offer in 72 hours, or use Tara's high-octane marketing to sell your home quite possibly for thousands over asking. Find out more at limbirdteam.com. LIMBIRD.
Need a little extra cash? Go see Rusty at Golden Jupon, 310 West Center in Greenwood. Get the money you need with loans on jewelry, guns, tools, and electronics. If you're looking for a gift, they have a large selection of jewelry to choose from, and Rusty can take care of all jewelry repair. Stop by Golden Jupon today, 310 West Center in Greenwood, or call 996-2792. Open 9 to 5:30 Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, and 9 to 3 on Wednesday. Golden Jupon.
When electrical needs pop up, don't get left in the dark. Call the local team that's trusted on and off the field. Harrison Electric. That's who homeowners and local businesses choose. Harrison Electric. Honest, dependable, and they leave no mess behind. From quick fixes to major upgrades, Harrison Electric is your go-to for all your electrical projects. Don't sit on the sideline with electrical problems. Get back in the game with the pros you can count on. Harrison Electric. Honest, quick, trusted. 652-3077.
Top CDL Academy is a licensed Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration that provides the federal required training to obtain both Class A and Class B CDL licenses. Our program provides assistance with employment after graduation. We have finance and grant options available. Students straight out of class have started new careers earning $70,000 to $140,000 per year, and training is provided for all 50 states. Call today, 479-632-1050. COP CDL Academy.
Pickup truck, sports car, motorcycle, minivan, townhouse, two-story, farmhouse, fixer-upper. What you drive and where you live is different for everyone, so it's important to have insurance that fits your needs and is just right for you. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that, which is why our agents help you design a comprehensive auto, home, and life insurance plan. Insurance that fits just right.
Call Jeff Clark in Fort Smith or Brad Howe in Van Buren.
Colorworks Paint and Body and Barling offers professional automotive painting, bodywork, and fabrication that is unsurpassed in talent and dedication. Owner Andy Harrod uses the latest in collision repair technology to ensure all damage is addressed, whether it's visible or hidden, and works with all insurance companies. Andy and his crew have the experience and commitment to give you complete trust in the repair of your vehicle, no matter the size of the job. Colorworks is located at 1206 4th Street in Barling, across from Dollar General, and is on Facebook, where you can check out their work.
It's football season, and that means tailgate parties and gathering with friends. River Point Wine and Spirits has all your favorite party supplies. You'll love our clean, organized store full of all the best liquor, wine, and beer. At River Point, we're a family-owned business where customer service is always our priority. Your journey, our spirit. River Point Wine and Spirits, Grand Avenue and I-540.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. You're listening to Hog Reaction, presented by Bud Light, proud sponsor of Arkansas Athletics. Also presented by Sawyer's, everything for outside the house, and by the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville.
They give to Russell, touchdown, Arkansas.
Don't miss Hog Reaction after every football game. Call or text the program at 877-377-6963.
I'll tell you where the best athletes probably in Arkansas are. You're going to laugh. Probably in the prisons and in the jails.
This is Hog Reaction.
Arkansas wins 52-7 over Alabama A&M. Sam Pittman now 20-14 in home games in his at the start of his 6th season at Arkansas. So we've been asking you, to react here on naturally Hog Reaction. What'd you like? What concerns you? Here's one from Graham in Prairie Grove on our text line, the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Worried that Omega is the new Armstrong and not enough tight end targets. Yeah, they got a pretty highly thought of. I think Pro Football Focus had the tight end, like the number 12 tight end in college football that they rolled out there. But
Platt or Jones, which one? The kid from A&M or Montana State?
I think it's Jones.
I think it was too. He didn't do anything at all in the passing game today.
No,
I think he threw to Platt one time.
So Platt got a catch. Posky caught the touchdown. Yeah, so not a lot of tight end. That's something that's unusual to me because when in Bobby Petrino's first go-round, I mean, you could almost set your watch to the first play of every game being a drag route to DJ Williams for 20 yards and a first down. And they use the tight ends a lot. And this is now starting the second year. It's one game. And you don't know what they're holding back or whatever, but that's not a big part of the offense right now that they are putting out there. It's something that's a little bit surprising, I guess, if you want to look at that from that standpoint. But yeah, you cannot have a situation where all night long he's looking for 9. And he's got to be, and you mentioned earlier, Colton, that he did a pretty good job of maybe surveying things a little bit. At times out there today, talking about Talon.
Yeah, I mean, he had a little bit more time. Obviously, there wasn't quite as much pressure that forced him, that forced him to step up into the pocket and maybe just take off and run. He did get flushed a handful of times, like we talked about with some of the pressure and those twists and some of those things that Alabama A&M was doing. But I think that one thing, obviously, yes, Omega Blake today, he had 8 targets, 7 catches, 121 yards. I think a lot of that was because he was wide open, and I mean, you're not going to not throw to your wide open receiver, and he's your number 1 guy. He was listed as number 1 on the depth chart for a reason. I like to think that Talon has been told that keying in on one receiver is not a good game plan. I know that he knows that, and at times, obviously, it was a detriment to this offense last year, but is it always because the quarterback is wrong for throwing to the only guy that's open, or is it also because your receivers weren't able to make separation? I think that there were times last year where they didn't have nearly as much separation as they would have liked from, yes, even Isaac Tesla, who's about to make it into the big splash for the Detroit Lions. Even he was able to get separation at times last year for them, and also Talon wasn't able to get the ball to him. No doubt, plenty of times, but I think that Omega Blake is obviously going to be this team's number 1 receiver. I don't know if it's going to be quite the same, the same laser focus that he always had on Armstrong, sort of that big-time safety valve, because he was able to throw the ball today to some receivers that I thought did really well. I was impressed with the Bentonville product, C.J. Brown, today. Thought he had a really good game.
Yeah, he had a very great performance today by C.J. Brown and his receiving core. And, of course, as you may have heard earlier, maybe not, Talon Green becomes the second Razorback ever to throw for 6 touchdowns in a game. Brandon Allen had 7. And I remember this game. I could go to the stadium right now, to the spot, as I was walking down from the press box when Mississippi State blocked an Arkansas field goal to win the game. It was Dak Prescott versus Brandon Allen. That was the quarterback matchup in that particular game.
Yeah.
And Brandon Allen was right there, but Arkansas had a field goal blocked late to lose to Mississippi State. That was about 10 years ago, I think it was, 2015. And to hear that stadium when that happened, the groan of disappointment was
There was
you know what I mean?
one where he got hit and almost threw a pick six early in the game and got deflected by the cornerback from Alabama A&M. I think it was on their sideline. He threw one over to that was a little bit close that he kind of thought, oh, but I believe it just got deflected and ended up not being anything worthwhile. I think they ended up converting on that next down anyway. So there was not many, like you said, though, at all. That was the only one that I can remember. For the most part, he was able to look comfortable out there, have a little bit more time. But I mean, like I started talking about, like I started the show talking about this evening, he just took a lot of shots, lowered his shoulder a lot, and I just wish that he would be able to take care of himself because, like they had talked about all offseason, well, wait till Taylon's fully healthy. Well, you got to keep him fully healthy, even against a team like Alabama A&M. So that's just my only critique of Taylon tonight. Other than that, I thought he threw the ball pretty good, had time to go through his progressions, which when you can do that, I think that he can be a much better quarterback than he was last year.
All right, so Arkansas wins at 52-7 over Alabama A&M to start the season 1-0. We're going to take our last break and come back and wrap this thing up here on this Saturday night on Hog Reaction, presented by Sawyer's, by the Stadium Shop on Razorback, and by Bud Light. Keep it right here on ESPN Arkansas.
You're listening to Hog Reaction, presented by Bud Light, Sawyer's, and by the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville.
We all make plans for the future, like car accidents, break-ins, and unexpected fires can disrupt those plans. At Shelter Insurance, our agents help design insurance plans that work for you and help protect what matters most. Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
Call Randy Milam in Alma or Brandon Zimmerman in Barley.
Summer is finally here, and so are the road trips that you've had planned. That's why it's time to visit us at Southern Tire Mart. Southern Tire Mart's expert service, competitive pricing, and top quality tires will ensure your vehicle is ready for all your summer adventures. Visit us in Fort Smith at 9700 Highway 271 and let us ensure your vehicle is prepared for the summer. Southern Tire Mart is a proud dealer of Yokohama tires. Southern Tire Mart. We keep America rolling. Summer is finally here, and so are the road trips that you've had planned. That's why it's time to visit us at Southern Tire Mart. Southern Tire Mart's expert service, competitive pricing, and top quality tires will ensure your vehicle is ready for all your summer adventures. Visit us in Fort Smith at 9700 Highway 271 and let us ensure your vehicle is prepared for the summer. Southern Tire Mart is a proud dealer of Yokohama tires. Southern Tire Mart. We keep America rolling.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
We all plan to be on time, but fender benders, damaged windshields, and slick roads quickly disrupt those plans. At Shelter Insurance, our agents help design personal protection plans that work for you and help keep you on track. Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
Call Jeff Clark in Fort Smith or Brad Howe in Van Buren.
When electrical needs pop up, don't get left in the dark. Call the local team that's trusted on and off the field. Harrison Electric. That's who homeowners and local businesses choose. Harrison Electric. Honest, dependable, and they leave no mess behind. From quick fixes to major upgrades, Harrison Electric is your go-to for all your electrical projects. Don't sit on the sideline with electrical problems. Get back in the game with the pros you can count on. Harrison Electric. Honest, quick, trusted. 652-3077.
At Wave Rural Connect, our mission's simple.
improve the quality of life in our communities. We've expanded to several non-member areas to help new communities. If you live in areas near Altus, Branch, Coxville, Mountainburg, Murray, Spur, or Ozark, Wave Rural Connect may be available to you right now. Check availability online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Wave Rural Connect will continue opening new areas throughout 2025.
Sharp Equipment is your one-stop shop for heavy equipment. Now with their new location in Van Buren on 3918 Pointer Trail East. Whether your machine's rattling, sputtering, or refusing to start, Sharp's got the parts and expertise to get you moving again. Looking for a new piece of heavy equipment? Look to Sharp Equipment, an authorized Wacker Newson dealer. Sharp Equipment has what you need. Come see Sharp at their new location in Van Buren across from Mid-South Steam Boiler or call 479-649-0500 to see how Sharp Equipment will help you move more than just the world, but will help you move forward.
Back to school means back on your feet, and True Grit Running Company has you covered. Whether you're a student, teacher, nurse, or retail warrior, our footwear keeps you moving in comfort and style. Shop top brands and discover new ones. Plus the best socks, insoles, and gear that'll keep you going strong all year long. This season, step into success at True Grit Running Company, where comfort meets grit. Located on Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. Run in today before the bell rings. True Grit Running Company, fueled by passion, built for you.
Hey drivers, got a reefer on the fritz or a trailer that needs some TLC? Roll into High Tech Truck Refrigeration Service in Van Buren, your one-stop, full-service, semi-truck and trailer repair facility, proudly serving you for over 30 years. At High Tech Truck, they do it all: DOTs, preventative maintenance, structural repairs, and expert reefer service. Fast, reliable, and driver approved. Call High Tech Truck today at 479-474-2220. Keep your wheels and your freight moving. High Tech Truck, proud sponsors of Arkansas football.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. You're listening to Hog Reaction, presented by Bud Light, proud sponsor of Arkansas Athletics. Also presented by Sawyer's, everything for outside the house, and by the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville.
They give to Russell, touchdown Arkansas.
Don't miss Hog Reaction after every football game. Call or text the program at 877-377-6963.
I'll tell you where the best athletes probably in Arkansas are. You're going to laugh. Probably in the prisons and in the jails.
This is Hog Reaction.
All right, final few moments here before we send you back to ESPN National Programming at the bottom of the hour here on ESPN Arkansas. Again, thanks to Sawyer's and the Stadium Shop on Razorback and Bud Light for bringing you Hog Reaction here tonight after Arkansas's 52-7 win over Alabama A&M. First one's in the books. They get the win, and next week, I believe for one night only, it's Arkansas and Arkansas State at War Memorial Stadium. 4 o'clock is when they're going to get that going on SEC Plus on TV. Yeah, weird start time on SEC Plus. And we'll be telling you about all of our different stuff going on throughout the day here, throughout the week here on ESPN Arkansas. But doesn't sound like Arkansas is interested in doing this again. So, again, that's why I think it's kind of one night only with Arkansas and Arkansas State next Saturday night.
Hopefully they do the same thing they did tonight, which is just take care of business, methodical offensive approach, and hopefully we see some changes on the defensive side of the football that will relax and ease some of the tension, some of the worries across this fan base tonight. But a lot of things you can take from this game that are positives, but at the end of the day, as I said earlier, not much that you can take from it really as a whole. You're not playing the competition that you will be most of the season. Some improvements in places you need them to be, and a lot of question marks, but the Arkansas State game, there'll be lots of festivities, lots of things, lots of talk going around this week. I'm sure that will leak out from hopefully not our side, but at the end of the day, you don't want to give Arkansas State any bulletin board material more than you already have by referencing how bad they want to play you, how bad they've been begging or whatnot. But I do think it should be a fun game, and hopefully it's the last time they play down there in that graveyard.
Well, yeah, that's another political football that's been kicked around for the better part of 20 years around here, and we'll see what happens with all of that. But, Arkansas has got to be ready to go. You're going to get Arkansas State's best. They're going to be confident they're getting a big win over SEMO tonight over in Jonesboro. And Arkansas can't get caught looking ahead to Ole Miss, which, hearing some comments in the offseason, that's the one they've kind of circled, maybe because of some of the defections that have happened from this roster to the Ole Miss roster in recent time. So you can't look ahead to Ole Miss. You better be locked in on Arkansas State, or what could be the Razorbacks' final game at War Memorial Stadium could be an upset for the A-State Red Wolves, and they'll make another commemorative DVD of the proceedings, like they did when Arkansas's women lost over there at the Convocation Center 20 years ago.
Oh,
all right, that's going to wrap up this edition of Hog Reaction here on ESPN Arkansas. For Colton Little, Derek Ruskin saying good night. Arkansas wins at 52-7, and we'll have more for you on Tuesday with our lineup. Have a good Labor Day holiday weekend. Be safe, everybody, and we'll all be back with you again on Tuesday here on ESPN Arkansas. Good night.